Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and I thought I'd talk about peas today. And gradually we've been transitioning away from shelling peas to mangetout peas, and for next year I think we've decided that we're only going to grow mangetout peas and we're only going to grow Oregon sugar pod. We've been incredibly impressed by them, and it seems to me that there's really very little point growing anything else. And the reason is that the pea shoots, which we used to grow alderman for, the pea shoots are so much sweeter from Oregon sugar pod, and they're just as prolific. So, and I think they kind of grow even earlier than alderman, and because they're sort of more compact plants as well, they're easier to manage. So that is a pea shoot, and that's what we harvest. We have them in salads and smoothies and stir fries and things like that, and they're really great, and they're a really good way to get the taste of peas early in the season. And this is a traditional mangetout pea, and so you get those again really early, way earlier than you can get a pea for shelling. But even when they get to this size, and this is the amazing thing I think about Oregon sugar pod, even at that size, the pod is still really edible, and peas are fantastic as well, really lovely and sweet. So we think that there's really not a lot of point. Obviously that is a small pod and you're not getting a huge number of peas, but you're eating the pod and the pea, and you can eat them fresh or you can cook with them, and there's no waste and there's no faffing around podding the individual peas. It's just, I just can't see really any point in growing anything else, at least for our taste. So we think they're just fantastic. They're multi-purpose. You can use them, say, in every stage of their life. And of course, if you just leave a few on and forget about them, then once they get a bit bigger than that, then they're not really edible. But then nor are alderman or any other traditional shelling pea. Some people say, well, you could eat alderman as a mange too. No, they're horrible. By comparison with Oregon sugar pod, they're just really, really, well, they're not sweet at all. They're much tougher. These are the ones to go for. Now, I'm sure there's other varieties, and I'm sure the same is true for all of them, but maybe not. I think the key characteristic that I'm looking for is something that you can eat up to this size, because I can never get through them all, because we've got so many of them. Even though I'm eating them every day, I can't quite get through them all at this kind of perfect size, and they are gorgeous at that size. So inevitably I miss a few, and we find some at this size, and then we miss a few of those as well, and of course then we just leave those on the plant and they are seeds for next year. So I thought I'd just quickly talk about how we grow them. And certainly for the early crop, what we do is we just take 6 inches at the back of the coal frames, and we plant those 6 inches up with module sown peas. And so I normally have quite a big module, this sort of size, so I don't know what that is, 2-3 inches, something like that. Basically a 6-cell tray. I put 3 peas in each cell of the 6-cell tray, so that's 18, and I put those 18 peas at the back of one half of my coal frame, and they romp away in the back there in sort of March time, and then come April time, middle of April, something like that, those plants are quite big by that time, so they're sort of this sort of size. They're flopping over a little bit, so I'll have some little sticks holding them at the back of the coal frame, but they need to start climbing at that point. And so we take the coal frame lids off, so you've got to make sure that it's a coal frame that you're happy that the contents of that coal frame can withstand the vagaries of the April weather. I mean, this year it was just amazing weather in April, but sometimes it's really foul. So it needs to be something that's fairly hardy. Lettuce is a good example of that. And just let them grow on. Obviously, you can also grow them in just ordinary rows and things like that, but you'd obviously need to put some protection on them early. Or you could grow them in a polytunnel, but I find a polytunnel is too warm for them. So I don't really grow them. I have grown them in the past in the polytunnel. I've always found that the ones that I grew at the back of the coal frame, which are much colder, get much better ventilation and things like that, that those are far superior to the ones that I grew in containers in the polytunnel. I've never dedicated actual polytunnel bed space to them, so maybe in a bed they'd be better, I don't know. But for me, the polytunnel is reserved for things that really benefit from the environment in the polytunnel, and the coal frames and the low tunnels outside are where it's at for things that are hardier, and peas are definitely hardy, so they're a fantastic crop. Some people even grow them over winter, planting them sort of, I don't know, October, November time. I've never seen the need for that. Well, actually I did try it very early on, and I found that the ones that I sowed in sort of late February to be planted out in March, that they were just as early as the ones that I overwintered. So again, just saves me lots of space overwintering them. So that's everything I've got to say about peas, I think, and I love them. I think they're fantastic. We've got 2 beds on the go at the moment. We don't tend to grow them much into summer, so we'll be finishing by the end of July. I find a lot of the ones that I grow, they get downy mildew on them a bit after that, and of course after July it was just such an abundance of food anyway that I don't really need peas. Anyway, that's the story. I hope you enjoyed this short video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon. Absolutely great. Quite a big pea in there.